Hello, Toon Army. Hope you're all doing well and still buzzing after that incredible Carabao Cup win at Wembley. What a moment for Newcastle United, ending a 70-year wait for silverware in the most iconic way possible. From the roar in the stands to the scenes behind the scenes, that day will live forever in our hearts. And let's be honest, we support the best football club in the world. No one does it quite like the Magpies, right? But even though the celebrations were emotional and unforgettable, the grind never stops, especially for our young talents. One name that's making waves again is none other than Miley. Fresh off lifting that Carabao Cup trophy with the senior squad, 17-year-old Lewis didn't have long to soak it all in. Just days after that historic win, he reported for duty, with England's under-19s proving once again that this lad is one of the brightest young stars to ever come out of our academy. Miley played the full 90 minutes in England U19's 2-0 win over Wales, and scouts have already started talking. He missed a couple of chances in the first half, but that's to be expected. What really impressed the scouts were his smart runs into the channels, showing the intelligence and timing that we, as Newcastle fans, have already grown to love. He wasn't on the score sheet, that was left to Ethan Wheatley and Shim Muka, but Miley bossed the midfield and got some much-needed minutes under his belt. For a lad who's only played just over 500 minutes for Newcastle's first team this season, this was a massive opportunity. Let's not forget, Miley has been compared to Cesc Fabregas. Yes, that's right. His composure, his vision, and his maturity on the ball are something special, especially considering his age. You watch him play, and it's like he's been doing this for years, and you can tell that representing England means something to him. He plays with passion, focus, and always wants to improve. Looking ahead, Lewis is in for a busy international break. Next up for England's U19s is a clash against Turkey on Saturday, March 22nd. That one kicks off at 11 a.m. and will be streamed live on England's YouTube channel, so make sure to tune in and show your support. Just 3 days later, on Tuesday, March 25th, they face Portugal, meaning Miley could play 3 games in just a week. After that, it's back to Tyneside in time for the Carabao Cup celebrations on March 29th. While we don't yet know whether there'll be a parade through the streets or another type of celebration, one thing is clear: Miley has earned his place in it all. He's not just a promising youngster, he's part of our future. And let's be real, how good does it feel to see one of our own, straight from the academy, not just making the squad but playing at this level for both club and country? This is what Eddie Howe is building, a team with a strong spine of homegrown talent blended with world-class players and a belief that Newcastle can compete with anyone. And Miley, he's going to be a key part of that journey. That's it for part 1, mates. Shall we crack on with part 2 and talk about the Jack Grealish situation? Let me know and I'll jump straight into it. Cheers, and as always, away the lads. Alright, Toon Army, we're back, and this one's got everyone talking. Imagine this: Jack Grealish in black and white. Sounds mad, doesn't it? But over the last few days, rumors have been flying that Grealish is now open to a move to Newcastle United, and honestly, it's a transfer that could change everything for him and for us. Now, let's be real. Jack Grealish isn't having the best time at Manchester City right now. He's gone from being one of their key players during that unbelievable treble-winning season in 2022-23 to barely getting minutes this season. He hasn't started a Premier League game since December, and to make things worse, he was completely left out of Thomas Tuchel's first England squad. It's a fall from grace, no doubt about it, but that's where Newcastle come in. Sources close to Grealish are saying that he wants a change, a fresh start to reignite his career before the 2026 World Cup. And guess who's at the top of his list? That's right, Newcastle United. He believes that Eddie Howe's style and environment could help bring out the best in him again. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Under Howe, players work hard, improve fast, and play with freedom. Just look at what he's done with the likes of Joelinton, Almiron, and even Anthony Gordon, who, let's not forget, is now ahead of Grealish in the England pecking order. It's not just about tactics at Newcastle anymore. It's about culture, brotherhood, grit, passion, and Grealish wants in. There's also talk that Grealish was offered to Newcastle last month, And although it raised a few eyebrows at the time, it's starting to make a lot more sense now. With his value dropping since that $100 million move from Aston Villa, this could be a chance for us to get a top-level talent for a much more reasonable deal, assuming the finances can be sorted. Now we've got to be honest. The lad's on. Massive wages at City, around $300K per week, and with Newcastle targeting multiple positions this summer, goalkeeper, centre-half, right wing, and a striker, there's a question about whether we could actually afford him. But there's also the wild card. If we move someone on, or if City agree to a deal that includes shared wages, this move might not be as far-fetched as it seems. And don't forget what Alan Shearer said about it. He understands how tough Grealish's situation is, being benched, not making the England squad, and trying to figure out whether to stay and fight for a spot or find somewhere new. But even Big Al agrees. Only Grealish knows what's best for Grealish. Then there's former City defender Richard Dunn, who believes that if Grealish no longer feels trusted by Guardiola, it might be time to go. And who better to help him bounce? Back than Eddie Howe and the Toon Army? Look, we all know Grealish is a unique player. He can glide past defenders, create chances out of nothing, and draw fouls like no one else. But more importantly, he's got something to prove. And that's the kind of energy we love in Newcastle. A player with talent, hunger, and fire in his belly. If this transfer happens, it won't just be big, it could be a statement. Newcastle United aren't just here to make up the numbers anymore. We're here to challenge, to win, and to bring top players to St. James Park. And if Grealish wants to be part of that, if he's truly ready to fight for his career, then why not? It's early days and there's still a lot to figure out, but this one has legs. And you can bet we'll be watching every step of the way, so keep your eyes peeled, Toon fans, because if Jack Grealish does walk through those doors at St. James's, well, things might just get even more exciting than they already are. Take care, lads and lasses. Stay proud, stay loud, and as always, away the lads.